So good evening, everybody. I'm Melissa Anderson with the Menomonie Chamber. I am the program manager, kind of overseer of the Young Professionals program. Adam is our president, and I will turn the program over to him at this time.
All right, thanks everyone. That has showed up. Chong, can you turn yours down? I'm getting a bad echo. She's sitting in the same room as me. All right, that's better. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming in. We should have some more people trickling in. I know I am the 2022 Chamber of Commerce YP president. My wife Chong is also on. She is currently our treasurer. There should be a couple more trickling in once they get freed up and get done with all of their kids' events and such tonight. So the way we will do this is we will have you guys speak for approximately 10 minutes apiece, starting with Lisa. Then we go into Darren from Optimum. And then if we have anyone, as we work down the line through Fire, Fitness, Woodwind Park, Rize Nutrition, and American Red Cross Northwest Wisconsin. So once you're done with your 10 minutes, or if you don't need your whole 10 minutes, we'll then break for any questions that anyone else has. And if we have people that kind of funnel in, and if we have some extra time, we can just kind of circle back around and retouch on any topics for those people as they come in. So Lisa, being you are first to bat here, do you want to kind of talk about your consulting?
Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. And I thought a great way, since I get to kick off the event, in the whole idea of health and wellness, is to take some time for us. And so I'm super excited about that. So let's go ahead and everyone take a minute to sit up straight, get comfortable in your seat, put your feet flat on the floor to ground yourself, and rotate your shoulders back 3 times. Everyone can do it. It's okay. I won't look silly for all doing it. We rotate our shoulders back 3 times. Pretend that we're a puppet and someone's pulling us up tall. So we're sitting up really tall on our seat bones. And if you like to close your eyes or look down at your hands, we're going to take some deep breaths. And so as you start closing your eyes or looking down at your hands, just take some breaths, take a deep breath. And as you breathe out, I want you to breathe out all of the stress and craziness of the day. And I know it's been one of those days, so breathe in again. And as you breathe in, take up all of that stress you feel in your body, all that stress in your mind, all the memories, the things to do, and grab them in your breath. And as you exhale, breathe them out. And this time, as you breathe in, I want you to think about drawing a box. And you're going to envision drawing the box, the side of the box for 5 seconds, or the count of 5. And then you're going to hold for 5, breathe out for 5, and hold that for 5. So as you are thinking about the stresses of the day, grab those in the breath and then exhale them out as we go. So I'm going to count us through this. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that we practiced once, go ahead and try it one more time. Breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. And one last time. In, hold, out, hold. And you can start fluttering your eyes open, wiggling your fingers and toes, rotate your shoulders, and come on back. Oh, so I don't know about you, but I know that helped me. How many of you have ever meditated or thought about mindfulness, being in the moment, or practice breathing exercises?
See a whole handful of hands, at least for breathing exercises.
Awesome. That's great. So I am sorry, I had a little delay on my side. I apologize. I hope you can hear me okay. I am excited to share with you about a couple of things that I like to focus on. And our mind is our most powerful tool. What are we doing for that? What are we doing for the health of ourselves and in our capacity of our brain and our mind, our subconscious? And so my name is Lisa Tavares. I'm an image consultant. How old you are as your business, but how old you look, feel, and show up in this world is mine. And I like to help people in everything inside, outside, health. So how we think about ourselves, how we talk to ourselves. And part of that is our mindfulness and the things that we say and do in our mind. And that is the thing that sticks with us all the time, right? We can't slough off our mind. Our mind is so powerful. And what kind of power are we giving it? Are we giving it the power of negativity and I can't and I won't and I don't? Or are we giving it the power of I can and I will? And I have support around that. In reading anything about boundaries and mind and subconscious, you hear about the idea of having support around that. And so having a support system that's positive, that's uplifting, and that helps you be accountable, because our will is not strong enough to do things that to keep us from doing things that we shouldn't, right? And so I like to come alongside people and help me with that. So mindfulness is a big thing. Mindset is a big thing. It can reduce pain by 50%. So mindfulness, one form of mindfulness is meditation. So if you can think about any pain, whether it's that stress in the neck from the day or shoulders, if we can reduce our pain by 50%, who's in? Other things that mindfulness can do is it can change our brain's anatomy. It can improve our decision-making skills, our problem-solving skills, and boost our creativity. I don't know about you, how many of you have some component of some of that in your daily life? Right? We can't get away with it, whether it's at work or home with family. We have decision-making needs that we have to do all the time, even for our own personal selves, right? So what can we do alongside that? How can mindfulness help? And being mindful is just being aware of the moment, being aware of your senses, thinking about the five senses, what we can see, what we can hear, what we can taste, what we can smell, what we can feel, and being present in the moment. A lot of times thinking about those five senses are a great way to do that. Thinking about, enjoying the moment at family dinner night and just enjoying that moment, enjoying how it feels, enjoying the sounds, enjoying the conversation, enjoying the smells. Maybe there's some delicious food that is part of that. And so being mindful is super critical in our lives to enjoy and have that happiness. And it's something that we can easily implement. Granted, this easy breathing activity today is a simple way that we can do that without having to be without having to have a huge time commitment. You don't have to have any supplies. You can do this in the comfort of your own home. You can do it driving. You can do it at work. There's lots of ways. The other opportunity then with health and wellness habits that I like to work with is internal things that we do, whether it's physical fitness or eating habits, other things like that. And then the other component that I like to work on is our physical exterior, how we look. Who would agree that if we look good on the outside, we feel better on the inside? Okay, it's also in direct relationship to our relationships, right? A proportion. So when we look good, we feel better, and when we feel better, we treat others better. And so I like to take that into consideration, because when we are connecting with people, we do that with our families. We do that at work, coworkers, friends, family, all these people that we're connecting with. And the healthier we are on the inside, okay, the healthier those relationships are going to be. And when we talk about teaching kids things, our kids are gonna learn better by what they see us doing, not by what they hear us telling them to do. So if we talk about giving them good techniques to take care of themselves, and self-care is super important, but it's probably one of the first neglected things in our to-do list. And so what can we do to take care of ourselves? Our skin is our largest body organ. What are you doing to take care of your skin? And so I like to think about that. There's 5 steps to ageless skin. Hold on a second, I need to shut this door. I apologize for that. So 5 steps to ageless skin. We want to cleanse to remove makeup and impurities. Sweat, dirt, grime. Our face is like a windshield, car windshield. If we never wash our car windshield, how's that going to look? Then we also want to freshen our skin, balance our pH with all the mask wearing. It's messing with our pH on our skin a lot. And so we want to balance that pH. And then we want to mask. We want to exfoliate the dead skin cells off. We want to moisturize the skin to hydrate the skin. And then we want to protect it from the sun and all the weird environmental things, the air pollution, the pollen, things like that that's in the air. And so I like to help people work around that, because uneven skin tone is one of the signs of age. And when we are in the workplace and we are trying to think about how we feel about ourselves and our largest organ, how are we taking care of that from head to toe? And so I like to work with people on components of that they might be benefiting from, and start some really good. So that's a quick rundown of a gamut of our largest body organ and our most powerful tool that we have inside of us. And if you'd like to chat with me more about any of those situations or scenarios, I'd love to work with you, or I'd love to get to know you a little bit better. So if there's any questions or anything, I'd love to answer that.
Who's your normal clientele, Lisa? What kind of clients, or who do you usually cater to? Anybody in specific, or just anybody and everybody?
It's a great question. I do love working with ladies as far as physical, the skin. I do a lot of work with ladies, although there have been some men that like that non-related opinion, which is a great person as well. People that maybe are going through a life change, career change, where there's just a lot of change and they're trying to figure out how they fit and how they work and what are they telling themselves, and the belief barriers and things like that. So people that have lost a lot of weight, maybe people are going through, family change situations, divorce, widow, job changes, career changes. I went from teaching into the business world, so I have some experience with some of the different ways that we have to present ourselves and do things in different situations.
Thank you.
Lisa, do you provide one-on-one attention or group settings, or what do you prefer? What do you provide?
Great question. I have talked to groups of people, like self-care sessions for moms or in the workplace. How do we take care of ourselves and the health of the helper, right, before we can think about our clients? I've also done a lot of one-on-ones or small groups where I can focus in on some specific needs, or maybe just desires. Maybe they want to talk a lot about self-care. Maybe you want to have a mindfulness session. Maybe you want to do a little skincare session as a group and have some girlfriend time, for instance. Or I can do one-on-one, especially sometimes the guys like to prefer one-on-ones because they don't really want to expose themselves to, things that they're struggling with. Is something a little more private. So.
Being that this is a young professional group, do you help with like interview skills or how to look and get ready for interviewing?
Yeah, great. I didn't talk about that, but yes, for sure. Interviewing, whether it's Zoom or in person, that would be a great thing about how we look, how we present ourselves. And the belief inside of us is really huge, especially at the beginning. Knowing being confident about yourself and knowing who you are and how you fit are definitely some things I can coach people with. And I actually this fall was talking with some University of Wisconsin Stout students alongside with their career fairs. And so that would be a great person I'd love to connect with and help with that. Zoom images is really important too. How we look and present ourselves, not only in person, but on screen is really crucial. And there's lots of tips and tricks that doesn't take a lot of effort or a lot of money to be able to do that well.
Anyone else have any questions?
Lisa, I could listen to your voice forever.
Oh, awesome. I'll take that as a compliment.
It is.
Thank you.
And Lisa, do you have a Facebook page or a website you would want to direct people to?
Perfect. So I do have a website that's still under construction. I can share it in the chat and after I'm done here. And then my Facebook, Lisa Tavares. I do partner with Mary Kay and doTERRA as I work with people. They may have special products that they use, and that's great. But if they're kind of looking for an answer or looking for a solution, those are some products that I do partner with. And so I have some sites with those as well. So I'll put those in the chat to share out and if that can be of help, that'd be great.
All right, we have a few extra minutes here. If anyone has any other questions for Lisa, go ahead and shoot and cut me off. Just for the couple of you that came in, I know Beth came in and there might have been one more that I missed. So just so you know, Beth, I am sorry, Mom was getting the little guy a bottle. So, I'm the 2022 Chamber of Commerce Young Professionals president, and kind of took over helping to get this organized since the outgoing president had a baby, and then she's no longer on the steering committee. So thank you for coming, and we'll look forward to having you speak soon as well.
Yeah, you bet.
Does anyone have any other questions for Lisa?
So you ended talking about the financial aspect. What kind of cost would it be for a consultation or full products, or is it all over the range?
That's a great question. Products that, if I'm talking about skincare products, they range from, I suppose, like $18 on up. Depends. I really customize it to your needs and habits, and what's doable for that. And then as far as the consulting for image, whether is it mindfulness, is it health and wellness habits, is it the physical image consultation, there is a little bit of a range of that and to what the person desires. But I do tend to do a 3-series session, and I'm currently offering that at a $125, and that would involve 3 25-minute sessions. That includes kind of like the get to know each other, understand what you're wanting out of the sessions and what your hopes and goals are. And then I work behind the scenes a little bit and put together some proposals from what I see and experienced from working with you. Then we get together again and I present my offer and show what I think I see and what I think can help you to get to those end goals. and then give you some time to work through that, you know, assist you in that process with some accountability, and then meet one more time to kind of wrap up with that. So that's my general presentation. Each person sometimes can be a little different. And then of course, if I speak to the group, it depends a little bit on, you know, how long I'm speaking things, but starting at about 70 and then up to 125 for an hour or so. So it kind of depends a little bit on case by case and organization, but.
All right. Did a good job draining some questions, Lisa. Thank you.
Thanks for everyone's time. It's great being here.
Lisa, feel free to stay on for maybe future questions if someone pops back on, or to win those chamber checks through the trivia at the end.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'm looking forward to this night.
All right, I have no problem being a couple minutes ahead of schedule. If you want to eat up a couple extra minutes of time, Darren, if you wanted to start going through what Optimum Therapies has to offer.
I'm probably going to be able to donate my time to the next person anyway. You guys are probably looking at my gray hair. I know Lisa is, and she's like, hey, young professionals, how did this guy get in the group? So, oh my gosh, this is a great group. I'm an old professional, 30 years probably as a physical therapist at Optimum Therapies that started in the Menomonie market back in 2003 in the Lammers Mart. And you guys were probably like, where's that? And then we're now right across from Culver's, right on Stout Road. So when you think about service, we're movement professionals, specialists. We try to keep everybody moving in the family and keep everybody active in life. If anybody's been to physical therapy, I'm always trying to promote, you don't need a doctor's referral to come to physical therapy. You can come in my front door and say, I need a physical therapy evaluation, and we're going to take a look at whatever problem that you're having. We're always going to notify your doctor. We're required to do that by law. But other than physical therapy, we also have medical massage. You say, well, what's the difference between medical massage and spa massage? I think it's the cucumbers on the eyes, but medical massage, people are usually coming in and they've got a specific problem, right? They got a pain in their butt, they got a pain in the back of their shoulder blade, and it's just not going away. And sometimes that's the first access point that people have, is they come in and they're working with the massage therapist, and then it isn't quite getting better. And then they pull in the therapist and we go, oh, maybe you got a rib out, or maybe your SI joint stuck, or different things that are causing that muscle to be persistently problematic. From medical massage, we do some personal training. As everybody knows, healthcare is expensive. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but we'll see people on the rehab side of things, and then they can't quite get to the physical fitness side of things. So you just don't have the neuromuscular patterns or the strength to really get back into the gym yet. So we'll have them see a personal trainer for a little bit extra service just to get them to their goals, or get them to the point where they feel like, hey, we're safe enough to get them out into the community fitness programs and into the community gyms. And probably our fourth level of service is really employers. So we've been working with a lot of the big employers in Menomonie. We'll see patients near site. They'll just come on in if they get hurt on the job, and we'll see them here on the clinic, or we're on site in their facility for a few hours each week and just kind of taking care of folks. Minor aches and pains, stiff neck, shoulders, elbows, wrists, hands. You guys kind of get the gamut. I think the biggest thing that I did want to kind of promote, I always want to leave people with updated information. Is there anybody aware of the Surprise Act? I know it has a weird name, but started January 1st of this year. It's probably based on you young professionals, because the whole point is you shouldn't get any surprise billing in your medical care. So now anybody can go in and ask, what is this going to cost me? And any healthcare provider needs to give you a good faith estimate. And I think that's so important in healthcare. So if you didn't learn anything tonight, you now know that if you got to go in and see the doctor or medical provider, or you got to see me, ask me how much it's going to cost. And I'm obligated to just tell you what I think and give you a good faith estimator. See, Adam, that was like less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's good. I can definitely speak. We have you guys come into Anderson Windows, and it is a absolutely amazing service that you guys provide. Just kind of the way that as a company, Anderson uses Optimum is as people have little strain, sprain, soreness, just like Darren said, is that, you know, really try to get ahead of the issue before it becomes something that ends up taking them out of work and you know, not just for, you know, their health, but, you know, then they can't make pay and things like that. So it's really great for the person, the company, everything. So you guys have any, you know, uses at your business or know other people that are looking for something like that, it is definitely a great option.
You know, I would just say to everybody too, when you're starting out a business, and I think that's this whole young professional kind of thing, is please stop at my office and drop off your cards or your brochures. We have a spot that we like to get that information out, because I think information's power, right? So after this meeting, drop stuff off. I'll let the front office gal know, and we just have stuff available. We're always trying to promote each other. And I think that's what it's about when you live in a small town. It's all about relationships. So thanks, everybody.
Darren, there's a question in the chat for you.
Is it my wife?
No.
Oh.
It says, does the Optimum offer any continuous wellness programs?
So a continuous wellness program, I think the only thing that would probably fit into there is I see a lot of people just private pay. It is similar to a chiropractic model. I may not see them as frequently as chiropractic care, but I would see somebody every 6 weeks or every eight weeks and just make sure that they're moving well in their spine and that things are going well in their life and they're reaching their goals. So between that and probably personal training, there's a lot of people, particularly older people in this pandemic, that just they're coming in and they're spending their money because they want to move. They need to be able to get up and down off the floor. They're fearful that if they do fall down, they can't get back up. They're picking up their animals and they got to feel agile and balanced. So I think that long-term wellness as you're aging is really important too from a training standpoint.
And then I may have missed it. Do you do all ages or mostly adults?
We do all ages, and occasionally, but don't tell anybody this, we've probably done animals too. Animals need rubbing. They get all kinked up in different things.
I might have to bring my dog in. She's got a problem with her foot.
Oh my gosh, I shouldn't even have said anything.
Another question that came through here. Do you offer gift certificates?
We do offer gift certificates. Yep. You could either come in and we can get them online through our website at optimumtherapies.com. They can call in and we can mail them to them, or they can just stop in and get a gift certificate.
And are those for specific services or general?
Yeah, Adam, they can be for specific services if they want it specifically for massage, or if they just want to do a general $100 gift certificate to any of the services, we can do it that way too.
Who else has any questions for Darren?
How many massage therapists do you have currently in Menomonie?
In the Menomonie facility, we have 2.
And I may have missed as well, how many facilities do you have? Where are they located?
There's 4 in Wisconsin.
Okay. Where are they? Menomonie and?
We're in Eau Claire.
Okay.
And then as you're heading up north on 553, we're up in Rice Lake and the city of Barron.
So Menomonie has studio location, correct? For personal training?
Menomonie does have personal training options, correct.
And what kind of workouts do they do?
So typically right now, our personal training is more post-rehab kind of a training. So again, it kind of goes back to you get somebody, insurance is getting tougher and tougher from a healthcare standpoint. So basically, if somebody can walk and talk, all of a sudden the insurance company wants to say, you're done. You've reached your goals. Kick them out. We're not paying anymore. And that's just ridiculous. So a lot of people need a lot more than that. So when we run into some of those situations, then we'll transition them into another program called our Next Step program, where really our personal trainer takes over at that point. And we've priced it such that for $450, you can get 10 visits. It'll take them through another 8 weeks, maybe 10 weeks of training in the clinic. The therapist is still here. We're still watching them, but they're with that personal trainer to get that strength and get that agility and really get the confidence to a level where they're reaching then their goals. And then if they're passing out, then they're ready to again, I think our whole goal is to transition into some kind of community wellness program. Maybe it's into Beth's program. Maybe it's into some other fitness gym or activity or something else that's back in the community. That's really where our sweet spot is rehab, get them back out in the community and get them participating in life.
I had to stalk your webpage. I'm excited. You have bar. I've never tried bar before, but I'm intrigued.
It's not the B-A-R.
I know.
Okay.
Not drinking bar.
Okay. I know it's Wisconsin.
B-A-R-R-E.
You know, it's unfortunate. I hate to even say the word, but this pandemic has really shut a lot of that stuff down where you've had to shift and kind of work into more private group classes to do some of that bar, which is done out of our Eau Claire office is where our main studio is. Yeah, everybody's been trying to survive and work that through.
For those of us that aren't aware, what is bar?
So B-A-R-R-E class is it's a very small controlled postural movements that Adam, if you got on the bar, these ladies would just make us look really, really bad. That your pelvis and your hips would just start to shake probably within about 15 minutes. And your feet would cramp up and your breathing to Lisa's point, it's a very difficult, slow movement class that uses a ballet bar. If you've ever seen a ballet studio, there's a bar on the wall. So you're using that for balance. You don't fall over. Good questions.
What else does anyone have for Darren?
There's another question in the chat. Since there's no surprises, what is your fee scale for a new client for PT?
Yeah, so there's our rates are $55 for 20 minutes of care. And then it doesn't matter whatever we do in that 20 minutes, it's just a flat rate, $55. If typical appointment will take 40 minutes if I'm just getting to know you, just because I want to get to know you. And so we just take a little bit longer and to do the evaluation. So that's usually a 40-minute appointment for 110.
And then future appointments, are they usually close to that 20-minute?
Depending on what your problem is, I may be able to do it in 20 minutes. So it may just stay at the 55. And depending on Adam, if you do your homework and your home exercise program, like I asked you to do, it could even be a lot less appointments.
I'm sure that's kind of like flossing your teeth when you go to the dentist.
It's flossing your teeth.
All right. What does anyone else have for Darren?
So I'm looking at your website and you can have 3 to 4 participants for private classes. Is that true?
That is in our Eau Claire studio, we can.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if we don't have any more questions for Darren at this time, we've had a couple more people pop on here. I see Angie. Who else is new? Lori, I believe, came in. And all right, so we have a couple minutes again for you guys that came on. I am Adam Faltasek. I'm the 2022 YP Chamber of Commerce president. and just helping to organize this event for everybody. So I really appreciate that you guys could come on and speak and participate. And we should be moving to Beth from Fire Fitness here. Are you ready, Beth?
I think so. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right, great. So I'm one of the co-owners and coaches at Fire Fitness Camp. We've been open since March, so we are approaching our 1-year anniversary here pretty quick. So FIRE, it stands for Functional Intensive Resistance Exercise. So it's not like some people think it's CrossFit or something of the sort. It's kind of its own science. So we have members as young as 15 all the way up to middle 60s or so. We work with all fitness levels, all activity levels, even people that have injuries, need modifications, things of the sort. We work with all of that also. So the functional intensive resistance exercise, it's functional. Everything we do at the gym, you do outside of the gym. So like the pushing, the pulling, the lifting, it improves endurance and strength. And then the intensive, you can go at your own pace. If you want to go nuts and lift really heavy or push yourself, you can do that. But there's going to be those people that might not be comfortable going that route yet, or maybe they're working themselves up to a certain capacity, getting stronger, improving strength. So we work with all that too. And then resistance, that's going to be like all of the equipment and such that we use. So we have tires, we have ropes, we have kegs and half barrels and dumbbells and all of that fun stuff. And then the exercise, of course, that's your typical routine and getting after that stuff. So we have 5 30-minute sessions a day currently. So it's a group-led personal training session, essentially. 30 minutes in and out, short and sweet, super effective. People leave all sweaty and red-faced. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So we offer complimentary sessions for those that have not been in to try it. Even if we have members that want to bring in a friend, they want to bring in family that are visiting, spouses, those are all complimentary. So individuals can come in and try it, see if it is a fit for them. We offer discounts for students, for military, for veterans, for firefighters, for law enforcement. So there's quite a variety for that also. We do gift certificates. We carry first form products. In the future, once we amp up staffing a little bit, we will probably offer personal training also above and beyond the classes, maybe even some specialty classes. But that's all that I can think of right now as far as like main points.
Do you offer any open gym time or anything in between your classes?
No, typically not, unless it were to be like a personal training one-on-one session.
Is every day the same?
No, good question, Melissa. So we have a specific, more so kind of focus for each day. So Monday is going to be a full body focus. Tuesday is upper body. They call it artillery. Wednesday is going to be a leg day. Thursday is another full body. And then Friday is cardio. So our founder, thank goodness, every week they sit down and put together our workouts for us. So it's never repeated. You're never going to have the same exercises in the same workout. It's another good thing about the program is that you're never going to plateau and you're always going to be a little sore because it's always working different muscles and keeping everything engaged. So a lot of variety, and it's really hard to get bored.
There is a question for rates for classes without a discount.
Yes, great question. So we have so many options. There's over 30 some customizable options. It just depends upon one's goals, budget, and frequency. So we usually like to invite people in for a session so they can try it, see what it's like. If they love it, we can certainly chat about all that stuff after. So a lot of options. It's hard to even pinpoint even just a guesstimate based upon how much we offer.
Do people generally go to only one class a day, or do some people come to multiple classes a day?
We have some that like to double. So they will do for example, we have 5:30 and 6:30 a.m. sessions. They'll stay for both of them. and do both the classes. So there's some that do more so depending upon their goals, or if they know they're going to miss a couple of days that week, they'll get their sessions in to make sure they use up all their camps. And then I see a question. I heard you do fun theme events. We have theme weeks. So theme weeks, the workout is always a little bit different than what we typically do. And they have fun with it. There's usually dress up, there's pictures, there's props. We have rodeo week coming up February 7th, I believe. But they do a Scream week, rodeo week, 80s week. Trying to think of some of the other ones. There's a bunch of them.
Shark Week.
And they're always adding new ones. Shark Week, that one's probably the hardest, most intense. But it's a lot of fun.
Work out in your theme clothes?
Yes, typically. We've had some interesting ones during Scream Week for like Halloween time. And then recognizing milestones for participants. So our members, we have a marvelous motivation system. So when members complete so many camps or sessions, such as 25, 50, 75, they're awarded for doing so. So for up to, I believe it's 200, they earn a band. And then when they hit the 300, it's a t-shirt. And then above and beyond that, there's coffee cups, there's mugs, there's duffel bags. So it keeps people pushing and keeps them motivated because they want to get to that next one. It's a big deal and we celebrate it.
They get a free sticker when they start? Because I've seen some pretty cool fire fitness stickers on cars.
We are the only gym that gives an F, literally. So anybody that joins will get a flaming F decal for their vehicle. Other locations, yes, we are one of, I believe, 28, 29 locations. So they are more so in Wisconsin. There is one in Ham Lake, Minnesota, but I believe all of the other locations are spread out within Wisconsin.
Is a member able to jump from location to location, say they're traveling for work or just visiting family and they're near another one?
Yes, so depending upon the type of package that they have signed up for, they can go visit any location. Otherwise, if they don't have one of those packages that allows that flexibility, if it's a location that Andrea and I know the owners, we usually just tell them to let us know and we can hook them up per se. Otherwise, typically if you do like a drop-in fee at any location, there's just a small fee to hop in the camp if you're traveling and such.
Could you explain a little bit about reserving your space because some camps get full?
Oh yeah, definitely. And that seems to be happening a little bit more as the new year has approached also. So we utilize MindBody, which a lot of facilities do, whether it's like maybe spas or things of that sort, other exercise facilities. And we're under there for Fire Fitness Camp Menomonie. And then our schedule is listed in MindBody. So you can view our camp schedule Monday through Friday. And then if you're a member, you basically just hit your book button for the session that you want to reserve your spot for, because we can only have 25 in a session for equipment and size capacity. And that holds their spot. So then when it's full, individuals can still sign up, but they're waitlisted. So if someone cancels, then they are bumped up to get into the camp. And it's the same through MindBody as well. If you're doing a drop-in session at another location or with us, you just hit that book button and then your card information and such is in there too. Does that answer your question? Okay, perfect.
Could you explain a little bit about MyZone that you utilize?
Oh, yes. Yeah, so MyZone is a belt. They also have the switches that you can wear as a watch also. And I believe we have the sports bra versions. So MyZone, it's like a heart rate monitor belt. And when members put them on during their workout at the gym, they pop up on the TVs that we have just above the big gym mirrors. So you can physically see what you're doing. So it tracks your percent of effort and your heart rate and your calories burned. And it's monitored by colors. So like if I had mine on right now, yes, you got one. Adam's got one. So if I had mine on right now, my heart rate would be really low. I would be in gray. But if I start bouncing around, I'd get in blue. And then it goes from green, yellow to red. So you can physically see what you're doing for your workout. You can push yourself because you're going to want to get to that next color to know you're getting the most out of your workout. And you can wear them outside of the gym. And we do monthly challenges. So members will get a little competitive with that to try and beat each other. So they're fun. Definitely gives you a little bit more out of it.
Yeah, it's really cool. You can compete against friends. You don't even have to be part of that gym like mine.
Mm-hmm.
If I knew someone that's going to fire, I could add them in my app, and you can look at the whole intensity of their workout minute by minute, where their heart rate was, and you can compete or give each other crap and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So it is a lot of fun, and it's really helpful in the middle of a workout to look up at that TV and gauge, I'm at 94%. If I keep this up, I'm going to end up face down on the floor at some point versus, hey, I'm going to maintain in those 80s or something like that. And person by person is different, but it's very helpful. It's a really cool tool to have and be able to use at the gym.
Definitely. Gives you a little bit more out of your workout too, because you can push yourself if you want to.
There's a question in the chat. What age do you need to be to participate?
Typically 15 and up is preferred for the age. I mean, I know we've made a couple of exceptions when individuals bring their children in. It just corporate prefers they be age 15, but if we're close to that, usually Andrea and I will allow that, but that's just the preference.
Do you get a lot of families that come in together?
Definitely. Yep, we have some sisters, some siblings, a lot of couples, spouses. We offer discounts at half off. So a lot of individuals will bring their spouses in, or if individuals have their kids home for holidays, college break, spring break, all of that stuff, they'll bring them in for a few sessions and work out together. So we have a lot of that too.
All right. What other questions anyone have for Beth? All right. We're a little bit ahead of schedule still here. Megan is here from Woodwind. Yeah, I see you. I had to find your picture. I saw you on here somewhere. Yep. So yeah, Megan, are you ready to start?
I am ready. I actually have slides because it's a little harder for me to describe what I have and what we do without pictures. So hopeful that we can screen share and then I can start that way.
I think you should be good.
Okay, so let's see.
We will tell you if we see it. You are good. You're on screen.
Right. Let me just get going there. All right, perfect. Well, as long as you guys can all hear me okay, let me know if for any reason my internet isn't always the most cooperative. So I apologize if I glitch at all, but I'm appreciative to be here. My name is Megan Frank. My husband, Paul, and I are the owners of Woodwind Park. And our tagline is rooted in the spirit of play. We honestly believe that it is the easiest way to get to wellness and health is playing. And both of us are longtime coaches. We were athletes in college. We've been coaching. I coach soccer. My husband coaches hockey. He's at UW Eau Claire with the men's hockey team, and I coach at the high school for soccer. But we've both been college, youth, high school coaches. And we also have varied business interests, and we've been looking for a place that would kind of land all of our passions in one spot, and Woodwind Park is where all of those things landed. So what Woodwind Park is, it is this grand open space area, lots of trees. It's just north of town and it has hills. I'm from Colorado originally, and my husband is from Minnesota, so landing in Menomonie makes the absolute perfect sense. But I would always lament with my husband that I didn't have hills to climb when I would go hiking. I would go around in circles around lakes or along rivers and all flat. So I was super excited when we literally stumbled upon this property and found that there were actually hills not very far from where we lived. We are 20 miles north of Menomonie, 5 miles east of Wheeler, and 7 miles west of Colfax. These pictures here are just a little bit of a kind of a round. It's hard to describe necessarily. We're facing one way this way, and then you turn around, you're facing this way to see the other side of things. There's 130 acres, so to try to get it into one picture is probably not the easiest. So we're working on that. Maybe I just need to go a little higher. But it is an outdoor recreation area with lots and lots of opportunities for different things. But for this particular conversation, I think our outdoor activities best describes how we want to provide a space for wellness, not for just individuals, but for friends, for families, and start with the littles as best we can so they start to love being outside, being active, and being just not very aware of how they can make themselves well with mind, body, and spirit. So this is a little glimpse of what we've got. We have in this picture right here, we have the slopes that we have started to clear. This used to be a downhill ski area starting back in 1950. It used to be called Deepwood Ski and Golf. And then it lay dormant for 30 years. But dormancy up here means that the trees grew really, really tall. So we have been trying to get them cleared so downhill skiing can once again be part of what we do at the park. We are probably a couple years away from that being a viable, regular activity out there. But we have these trails on the lower part, which was the golf side of what they did. We will not have golf out there. Disc golf is actually in the works out there, but we'll have hiking, probably some mountain or hill biking as we continue to create these trails. In this picture up here, this is actually an event tent that we erected last summer for outdoor events, and I'll get to that in a second for some of the things that we do to try to get activity happening. And then this is a chalet that we are currently in the middle of getting the inside renovated. And there's a lot of opportunities to do some retreats, educational, wellness activities in there as well. So all of that's coming online as soon as we can get that building done. So this is a map, very crude. I'm not an artist, but I did draw this of our property to give you an idea of some of what we have. So we have a tubing hill that does not have a lift right now. You have to hike yourself up and you get to tube down. It's your reward for walking that really long hill. I'll show you some pictures of that in a second. Eventually, we are going to be installing an incline staircase, which is definitely inspiration from Colorado. So you would think that we have mountains enough to climb and that would be fine and we would just leave it at that. But Coloradans like to make stairs to climb on purpose just for exercise. And so that is what we will also have out there. There's a pretty good steep incline. It'll probably be about 200 stairs by the time we're done. On this side over here, where the eventual ski runs will be, there's a ridge hike that we do, and snowshoeing is happening on that right now that goes up and around. That's about a mile. And then these switchbacks are my very easy, selfishly created cross-country ski trails that are groomed, and it's about 2 miles for that loop. So there's lots of ways to just get busy and get playing. We have 3 ice rinks for people that know how to ice skate or that don't know how to ice skate and want to try anyway. So there are lots of things that you can see every season. One of the things about being and having the gift of working with a property like this is the seasons. Why we've ended up in Wisconsin is because I love the seasons here. And I love Colorado too, don't get me wrong. I know most people ask me why I would even choose Wisconsin over, I chose my husband, let's just say that. But I do get to go to Colorado frequently. This is a good vantage point that we have from our property on the top of our ridge line. It's just gorgeous. And then this is, you know, in the winter, walking anywhere in the trees makes you feel good about yourself. There's the fresh air, the sounds of nature, and doing it on purpose. And I realize that people have Hoffman Hills, but there's a lot of natural areas around here to go. The thing that we want to be able to offer is that you come with a group of people on purpose and you have a reason to gather and you get around our bonfire and you share some food and some drink and you play together, or you don't. And you bring your kids and you send one over there and one over there and one over there and you're all doing your thing and then you get back in the car and go home. So there's a lot of different ways that you can make use of our property. So one of the things that we like to do is we like to get people woodwinded. That's what I call it. I have to give that credit to my oldest son, who's a senior at Madison. No worries. This young boy right here is fine. He actually just lost a ice skating challenge to his sister and he was beyond devastated. So that was how he ended up. Thought it was a really cute picture, but ice skating and wearing yourself out is one way to get winded for sure. Again, we are hiking still right now for the tubing hill, so that is certainly going to wear you out. We will get a lift eventually, I promise. But my husband has the idea that you will still have to hike up at least once to get into the area. You have to hike up once, and then by then you'll be in the area where the lift is. So we'll see where it actually gets it installed. Cross country skiing is happening on that section. This is the view from the top of the tubing hill facing out one of the directions. Again, it's really hard to capture all of this in pictures. So you just kind of have to be there. You have to get out there to do it. We did a 5K-ish run in the summer, and I say 5K-ish because we didn't really measure it right, but we did promote it that way. And it was actually quite a bit longer. We added an extra couple loops that we didn't intend, and some people, it just really earned their 5K-ish status. And I'll talk about that race in a second. But we've been doing it since 2020. So when we bought the property in 2018, we were gangbusters to get things done. We were working on the building. We were going super, super fast with it. And then the pandemic pause happened, and my husband and I, both being coaches and working in festivals and events, looked at each other and realized neither one of us were essential, but I needed him out of my house. So I kicked him and our oldest over to the park, and they started carving trails. By the time fall rolled around, people were starting to get really, really antsy to get out. And we said, we have this place, the building's not ready, but let's get them outside and start doing things. And so that's what we've been doing while we've been waiting for things to get back online for the building, just playing outside, trying to give a place for physical, mental, emotional well-being. And that's what we're doing. One of the other things that's a part of our mission is to do what we call Play It Forward. And every month we have an organization, a nonprofit, an entity, or someone in need that we designate a day and we play it forward for that group. And we've been doing this even when we were, initially it was to play it forward for the park itself, because, you know, it was, yeah, we wanted to stay afloat. We wanted people to be able to use it. So people would come out and they donated just to keep us going with this particular project. But we did a few things. So like our 5K-ish race, Mr. Peanut was the race starter for our 1 mile section with the kids. And it was actually a fundraiser for men's health. Prostate cancer research was what benefited from that day. And so the proceeds for the event, all of our sponsors, everyone who partnered with us, all of that went toward that cause. Our Halloween cause has been, we had a band, the kids were dancing, we had costume contests, we had a haunted chalet, and all the proceeds for that event and canned goods went to Stepping Stones. We have one coming up in February, which I'm super excited about. That one is for Special Olympics. February 19th is the date for that one. And we will have a snow obstacle course. Self-timed, self-started. There's lots of different challenges, but the end of that race, you have to hike up the tubing hill and tube down. The finish line is at the bottom. If you do the longer one, then you run the mile ridge around the top. It'll just depend on whether you want to. We'll have pickup hockey or 3v3 hockey tournament, depending on what ends up getting registered for. But we are currently soliciting sponsors for that, partners, people who want to either sponsor an element. Donut Sam's already has our tire run. So if that was what you were thinking, that's probably not available, but we'll put you over in that obstacle course area if you wanted. The tubing hill and the rink will also have some rink sponsors and some of the tubing hill sponsors. So that is the gist of what we are up to at this point. Our website is www.woodwindpark.com. Have a Facebook page and Instagram, and then there's an email distribution list. If you sign up for that, then we try to keep everybody up to speed with what's going on, because it's certainly not as predictable as it had been in 2019. So we're just kind of going and pivoting and doing what we need to do as we go. And that's what I have. So I'm going to turn this off. Get everybody back to where they were.
I heard through someone at work that if you got little kids, that sometimes you have high school or college kids that might tug them or help tug them up the hill for tubing.
We are working. I am super shocked there's not a long line of volunteers for that particular job. But now that the college kids are back, we are soliciting for volunteers as well. I should have mentioned that. And I'm starting to push that as best I can. So yeah, they're the Sherpas on the tubing hill, because yes, people with the small kids end up working out the hardest. They are the most wood-winded by the time they are done with the day, because the kids, they have their lift. The parents just pull them up on their tubes. But I am looking for that, Adam. So if anyone knows a college kid, high school kid, someone who you would like to punish, just let me know, and we can get them signed up to volunteer to pull tubes up the hill.
So you called your building it's the chalet, correct?
Correct. Yeah, we're calling it the chalet.
What is your goal to have the chalet done?
So we are meeting with our builders to set the timeline on Thursday. So I have the goal of November this year, but I have also learned that your building goals COVID kind of laughs at building goals. And that's why we'll just go as fast as we can. Let's just say that. I know that we are planning to start demo in February. If it stays -22, it'll be a lot harder for us to do some of the window things that we've got to do. Like there's temperatures matter for some of these things, and we don't have heat in the building yet. So there we go. That's where we are right now. But I'm aiming for November. That's where I would love to have it finished.
You talked about sponsors for your February event, and I know when you started, you had different levels of sponsors. Are you still accepting those as well?
Yeah, so for the sponsorship, right now we just have the 2 levels. If you sponsor any part of the obstacle course, it's $100. If you sponsor either the tubing hill or any of the rinks, because that will be more traffic, we're putting advertisement up at those places for sponsorship. That's $300. So, and any donations are going to go to Special Olympics too. And I'm fine getting people connected directly with Special Olympics Wisconsin so they can donate directly. I know Walmart distribution is probably going to just give directly to them, and that's fine. It doesn't bother me one way or another, as long as we're doing what we can to support what their cause.
But I mean, like outside that February event, when you first opened, you had like the different tree sponsors.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
That?
No, we're not. I mean, we'll take donations if people want to. I mean, we put it straight to the park. So anything that people give us will continue to go. If there's a corporate sponsorship, we would definitely work with that leveling, not as much for the giving trees like we had done before. So we did giving tree sponsorship to try to just keep us going. That was a grassroots effort. Our corporate sponsors, we're looking for kind of those bigger partnerships right now. And so if they did, then we have advertisement on our website. We will acknowledge those groups similarly to the giving tree, but because we will have a wall in the chalet that lists all of those, all the people. And there's a lot of the community came forward to help us to stay afloat, and just a really generous place.
I didn't hear. So right now, like if you wanted to bring friends, family to go tubing or to any events, is there a fee to come into Woodwind?
Good question. So we have, right now, it's really just rental. That is our fees, partly because we don't have a lift and we know that it's very tiring. So it's $6 to rent the tube, and there's no limit to how long you have it, and you can share it. It's just $6 per tube rental. And we have ice skates to rent, thanks to the Menomonie Youth Hockey Association, who they're not able to offer indoor skating. So we have their skates up at the park right now, and that's $4 per rental because they're going to get a kickback for letting us borrow their skates. They're paying it forward that way. And then other than that, it is free will offering to come out to play at the park. And this is because this is our long-term model. This was our model from the very beginning before anything happened. We imagine that we'll have a robust restaurant, bar and grill. That'll be where we are making our money out there, and other things that people do to come out to play cross-country ski, snowshoe, unless they have a lift ticket to go skiing, or they have a lift ticket for the tubing, that will have a fee, but otherwise it is free. And we don't have any other rentals right now, like snowshoes or cross-country skis, but that is also in the long-term plan. So
currently, if someone was to stop in, is that
the chalet, is that?
Oh, go ahead, Lisa.
Sorry. The chalet, are you hoping that's going to just be a restaurant, bar and grill, or are you going to use that for retreats? As there sleeping areas? And it's kind of hard to tell from the picture how big it really is.
Yeah, that is, we don't have the pictures because it's, it's not done inside yet. You're right. It's a good size. When it's occupied for, say, like a wedding or something, there could be 250 people in the building. There's not lodging per se, but we are hoping to have a campground or a place to tent camp, possibly tiny houses, that sort of thing. But I imagine that the building's going to be used for restaurant capacity, but also for events and retreats. Certainly, that's definitely a way that this property needs to be utilized. There's going to be a you know, a place to have an indoor class of some sort or do some screen educational, and then go outside and play and get moving. So
there's actually a question in the chat about weddings. Do you do weddings? Tell us about your wedding.
We had a wedding last fall. I was trying to figure if there was a way to tie that into wellness. They are doing well. They are still married. No, we had a beautiful wedding. The bride and groom and their families built the ceremony area in our Cathedral Pines, which is right off to the side of our parking lot. And their ceremony was there. And in the tent that I think I pointed out on the first picture, they had their reception in there. So we are currently booking weddings for 2023. And there is the grand hope that the chalet is ready for the receptions for those, but they're prepared in case they're not, that we know we can pull off the tent reception if needed. So.
I see a partial question. There it is.
Yeah, I was going to finish Ashley's question. Did you mention? No. Yes, so we have the 5K run on Father's Day. We will do that again. We haven't done a cross country race, although we've been told that it'd be a good place for it. So I definitely know that would be something we'd be willing. I think, right, you know, for the people are offering all sorts of different services. We have space. So that's the thing we have, is we have space, and it's got, you know, the sort of landscape that could be useful to all sorts of different events and ideas. You know, a mindfulness hike, like Lisa could take a whole group someplace very quiet and just tell them to breathe, and I would be right there with them. So it's the space that we have that we're willing to, any creative idea people have, we would be happy to entertain it.
Perhaps
Awesome.
Beth could run drills out there sometime with the crew.
Giving me ideas, Melissa.
A new form of tubing hill might not be for tubing anymore.
All right. Oh, little guy's unhappy. So next in line here we have Rize Nutrition. Angie, did anyone else have any questions for Megan? All right. So Rize, we have Angie Niska. Did I pronounce that properly?
Yeah, you did, right. Adam. Nice job.
All right.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Megan, that was awesome. I did not know like what you've been up to out there. So I'm so glad I finally got a good overview of it, because it's pretty incredible. I've heard awesome things, but now I know for myself what you're up to. So very cool. Lots of awesome resources that we have in our community for wellness. So I'm excited to be here today. Rize Nutrition focuses on nutrition. Imagine that. That's why we're called Rize Nutrition. But nutrition is obviously one part of our wellness journey, as well as physical and mental and spiritual. And so our focus is really on that nutrition piece and how we fuel our bodies and what we put in our bodies. I do have a slideshow here, but before I open that up, we have been in business for 5 years. We're located across the street from the Market Bar downtown, and we have great parking all around our building. So that is not an issue for the Rize building. As some people think that downtown maybe doesn't have enough parking, and maybe in parts it's a little tight, but where we're at, there's a lot. So it's really cool. Let's see. So again, we've been open for 5 years. I opened Rize 5 years ago, and recently announced that there will be a transition at Rize. And the cool thing is that Becca, who is on this call as well, is going to be the new owner of Rize effective Friday. So there'll be a couple of days that will be closed while Becca is doing her transition, and then she will be reopening again to do what we're doing now. So everything that we talk about now will be continuing, and so don't worry about that. We will continue to be a resource thanks to Becca. So that's pretty cool. So with that being said, I'm going to hopefully share my screen. Hopefully.
You should have rights.
Yep, I do. I do have rights, but what I'm not seeing is not your fault. It is, I'm just looking for my computer here. I thought I had the presentation open. There it is. Let's try this again. Oh, hey, Rhonda's got her Rize cup. She got a tea today and a shake. So that's pretty cool. Thanks, Rhonda. There we go. Okay, super. Okay, is that good? You guys can see it? Super. Okay. So this is the outside of our building. Maybe you recognize it. We're in the Marion building across the street again from the Market Bar and located next to Quarters. So what is this place? It is a lot of things. It's a place to get a healthy meal on the go. Our primary servings are shakes and teas. So they're nutritional meal replacement shakes. You can kind of see an example here in the middle of my screen. The shakes are a full meal. They're going to have 21 vitamins and minerals, 200 calories in general for our general nutrition shakes. We have some post-workout shakes as well. We also serve energizing teas, which are not your grandma's teas, I like to say. So it's more like a delicious juice or a healthy energy drink. They're going to give you some good, clean energy and vitamins for mental clarity without a crash and without a ton of sugar and without some of the dangerous things that can be in energy drinks that you might find on the marketplace. We're a place to hang out. We have college kids, high school students come and hang out, getting some good nutrition and having a good time. It's just a fun place to be. Our goal is to have a very positive environment. So a lot of people, you know, that whole mind and body are connected, right? So when we try to be that positive place. So when you come in, you might be having a bad day, but by the time you leave, we want to make sure you're having a blast, right? And that you feel better and that you know that we care about you and you got a smile in your heart, hopefully. That's our goal. We have stuff for kids as well. They love our shakes and teas. And we have stuff just for them so they're not stealing their parents, because that's usually what ends up happening. So that's a little bit about what Rize is. You can see the inside and the outside of our building here, and just a fun place to be. So why is nutrition important? I kind of wanted to take a look at some of the background or the environment that we are in right now. And I think it's kind of interesting as business professionals to know some of these statistics. So the reality of our American diet, this isn't going to really surprise any of you, I don't think, but we tend to have excess sugar, which is not something our body needs and is terrible for our bodies. Salt, alcohol, tobacco, unhealthy fats, those tend to be in excess and really readily available in our culture in big portion sizes. And that's become really normal. Over the past, 60 years, our portion sizes have gone from, like, if you were to get for instance, a Coke back in the 50s, it would be an 8-ounce Coke. Well, now, I mean, you're seeing big gulps and they're 32, 64 ounces. It's kind of insanity, really. It's complete overindulgence, and it's becoming the norm. So we have an excess of that, while at the same time, we're having deficiencies in our diet in protein, vitamins, minerals, fibers, the complex carbs, the phytonutrients, the things that actually our body really needs to function well. And so when I talk about this, it's not only about, like, how does your body, it's not about how we look, it's about how we feel and how our body actually is working. And if our bodies aren't working right, our minds aren't working right either. And speaking to business professionals, our minds are really important for what we do every day. So being on top of our game, really good nutrition is very important for that. So I've got some statistics here on obesity in the United States. And I included this because I do think it's really important, because as business people, it affects us. It affects our bottom line. It really, truly does, as well as our ability to perform as individuals. So 42.4% of adults in the United States are considered obese. That's obese. That's not just overweight. Children, this statistic kills me. And this is really one of the reasons I decided to start Rize. 19.3% or 14.4 million children in the United States are obese. It's sickening. And it's really sad. This is the first generation where our kids are not expected to have a life expectancy as long as ours. And it's driven by this nutrition that we are lacking in our very privileged United States lives, right? So we have the means to have a good diet, but we don't. And it's really unfortunate. I have 2 kids. Like, I'm really passionate about this. And I love the whole idea of getting out and playing and being active, because that's the other piece of it. And so it's cool that we've got such great resources coming together on this call tonight. 70% of premature deaths are linked to obesity. So we're talking heart disease, diabetes, cancer, those things. So what does that mean for our medical costs as employers? It's a big deal. $147 billion in medical costs in obesity. That's in 2008. So that's 10 years ago. So it's obviously a lot more now. But in general, per individual, it's about $1,400 more in medical costs annually, simply because of nutrition that's not on point and not even close to on point. So it really kind of hits home. And this is what drives the passion behind what we do. It's to help the community be healthier through great nutrition, because it's a huge piece of it. Okay, so I don't want to be like Debbie Downer now that I delivered all that awesome news to you, but that's why it's really important. And so I wanted to leave you. So one of the things we do at Rize is we're there for a healthy meal on the go. We're open 7 to 2 Monday through Friday, but we're also wellness coaches. We're all wellness coaches that work at Rize, and we work with clients individually to help them with their nutrition and their diets. So to help whatever wellness goals they're working towards, maybe it's losing weight, maybe it's training for an athletic event, maybe it's just having more energy with great nutrition. I've worked with young people, and in that case, we're definitely not focusing on losing weight. We're focusing on good nutrition and a healthy lifestyle. So the things that I wanted to leave you with something tonight that you could take with you and actually implement if you like, as early as tonight. But some keys to a good, healthy lifestyle with from a nutrition standpoint are balanced diet. So yes, we need carbs. We need healthy carbs. Actually, 40% of our calorie intake should be from healthy carbs. So your vegetables, your colorful fruits. So my first point is eat colorfully. Eat a lot of colors, lots of vegetables, lots of fruit. The more colorfully you eat, the more vitamins you're taking in, because those vitamins all carry some different colors. Eat breakfast. Majority of people I work with don't eat breakfast. You got to get your metabolism fired up. So please eat breakfast. Limit the unhealthy fats, the things that are excess. Just be conscious of that. How much salt, alcohol, things like that you're putting in your body. Sugar is the big one, which is very addictive. And that's a very serious true addiction that a lot of people struggle with. Drink water, hydration. Does anybody know how much water you should drink in an average day? Becca, you don't get to answer. Anybody?
I'd say at least 75% of your body weight in ounces.
That is a really good guess, Adam. So half your body weight is where I usually go, but if you want to use 75%, that's even better. Go for it. That's great. Good job. Yes, half your body weight in ounces per day should be your goal.
If you're active and sweating, it should be your body weight in ounces.
So I was just going to add to that. If you're working out, you actually want to add 8 ounces of water to that for every 15 minutes you're working out intensely. So definitely keep that in mind, because we're all going to be active and working out, right? And protein, lots of us don't get enough protein. Lots of us aren't really even conscious of protein. Like a lot of people talk about carbs, a lot of people talk about fat. And there's a lot to talk about protein too, but how much protein should we actually get? Does anybody want to take a guess what an average female or male should get in a day?
Depends on your goals. The percent might be a little different.
Yeah, half your body weight in grams. Would that be right? Protein.
So in general, and this does vary by body and by goals, all are good points. Every body is different, so we can't just make one rule. But in general, a female should be getting about 100 grams of protein and a male about 150 to maintain their muscle mass and their metabolism and stabilize your blood sugar, keeps you full, all kinds of other things. So that is some tips for you that I have today. Here is a coupon on the left. Coupon on the left. If you'd like to snap a picture of it with your phone, if you haven't been to Rize, you can come on in for 50% off your first visit. And then on the right, there is a QR code that you can scan, and that will hook you up with our online ordering app. So if you like to order ahead, you can pay ahead if you want, but you sure don't have to. You can go ahead and scan that too. Does anybody have questions?
I saw at one point you were doing some kind of delivery. Are you still doing that?
Great question. We are not doing delivery right now. We were doing it as our staffing allowed us to, and so we are not doing it this week. Becca is going to be evaluating that for when she reopens. So I would say definitely stay tuned, because that is something that is on her radar.
Ashley has one here that's kind of similar to the question I had was, are the products available for home use? And yeah, I could kind of spin that to like my question for someone that's going to the gym at Fire or in any other gym in town. You know, is there programs where they can get your drinks and bring them home without having to stop in just during your open hours?
Yes, absolutely. There's absolutely, you can make everything we make at Rize, you can make at home, and we can help set you up with the products, of course, to do that. So if you're a client and you order products for home, we work with you on your favorite recipes, help you figure out how to make them. You also get some other additional resources. You get connected with our online community where there's lots of ideas for snacks and tips and tricks. And we do some different challenges and accountability groups and different things with our clients directly. Yes. So some added value there in addition to the products at home.
Do you get a discount or anything for multiple visits? Do you have a punch card or anything?
We do. We have a punch card. And so if you come in 10 times, you get a complimentary basic combo on your 11th visit with your full punch card. That is current. Becca, any thoughts on that? I don't want to put you on the spot, but.
Yes, I plan on continuing that and honoring people who even have current punch cards as well.
Cool. Thanks.
What is your favorite drink?
That is a hard one. It depends on the day. Yeah. I honestly have, a lot of times I have things that aren't on the menu, which I know sounds bad, but I can make specials anytime I want. So I would say I really like the caramel apple toffee that we've had in the fall, and our Hello Fall tea blast, because I'm a hot tea drinker. Most people that come in like their tea's cold, and like 99%, but I like mine hot. So I like something that's more spicy and cinnamony-ish chai versus fruity, which is most people love our fruity concoctions.
Angie, could you explain the products a little bit? Are there products that are available for people that are maybe vegan or have dairy sensitivities or caffeine sensitive?
Yeah, absolutely. We have products for all of those. Thank you for asking. We actually have a ton of a large percent of our menu, which you can see online, as I mentioned, is naturally gluten-free. So gluten-free is a big need right now. And so we have a lot of that naturally, which is great. Many of our flavors can be made dairy-free as well. And vegan. We do have a vegan option. We have our select line is our non-allergenic line. So we can make many of the flavors on our regular menu with those parameters of whether it's vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free. That's all indicated on our menu. So just make sure when you come in, if you have a sensitivity or if you want that you let us know, because we do make the recipe special for that need. And we also then can be aware so that we're mindful of any cross-contamination or anything like that. Caffeine sensitive, yes, absolutely. Not all of our drinks have caffeine in them, and many of them, if you ask, can be made without caffeine. We are pretty transparent. If you want to see any of the labels, you're welcome to look. We can inform you of the milligrams of caffeine in anything, and none of our drinks will exceed the recommended caffeine per sitting that a person should have. So we're very mindful of that as well. And always just ask. We're an open book.
Any other questions for Angie?
So you mentioned the tea and the shake. What is the aloe shot and what's it good for?
I didn't put a picture of that. We do shots at Rize, so that's pretty awesome. But they aren't alcoholic, so that's even more awesome. We have aloe shots. They are usually mango flavored. Sometimes we do cranberry. It's literally it's a shot of liquid you have before your tea and shake, and it just soothes your digestive system, helps get your body ready to absorb some great nutrition, and it's refreshing and quite tasty. And if you bring a friend, you can do them in the shot ski even. Which is fun. Nobody said nutrition had to be boring, right?
Any other questions for Angie? All right. So, did we have anyone here from American Red Cross? I don't believe so.
No, they were just going to be here as a guest. So,
all right.
Rhonda's next.
All right, Rhonda.
I think I got myself unmuted here now.
Yep, we can hear you.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. It's good to be here and to hear about all these wonderful things that are happening for health and wellness here in Menomonie. And I am here today about options for women, Menomonie. And we are located in the Rize Nutrition building as well. I don't know if you can see this or not. There we are. We have the side location, the side door off of 6th Avenue in that old Marion Hotel building. So though our address is Broadway Street, you can access us best on that 6th Avenue door. So we are a pregnancy resource center here in Menomonie, and we have a free pregnancy tests. Everything that we have at Options for women is not only for women, it's also for men, it's families, and we're here to support them through their pregnancy and beyond. So again, everything here is free. So we have free pregnancy tests, and all of our services are also not based on what your income is. So it doesn't matter if you're a 6-figure person or if you're someone that's not bringing in any money at all. It's all about our parenting education and making relationships to support your mental health while you're going through all the changes that pregnancy brings. So we start off with, if you don't know that you're pregnant, you come in, you have a pregnancy test, we come in, we talk about what that feels like, how we can support you in that. We have an Earn While You Learn parenting program, which consists of over 300 hours of parenting education, and that's in-house. And we also now have Bright courses, which is an online program. So we can deliver those parenting classes to your phone, to your email. We can talk about them over the phone. We can talk about them through a Zoom meeting. So you can keep right on going to school, you can keep on going to work, and you can have this free education right in the palm of your hand or in your living room or with your family. You can bring your family in and we can sit here and watch the videos and talk about things and just build that relationship and have that support that you might not have with your own family, or if you're not from the area or just moved here recently and don't have friends or support, or if you're a college student and your family is not here, we're here to be your family. We're here to rally around and help you with your mental health during your pregnancy, and just to be that shoulder and that voice of somebody to talk to when you don't seem to have anyone else to talk to. We also have grief support group for pregnancy loss, miscarriage, post-abortion, and we also have sexual abuse or trauma study. Some of our services are not services, but some of our education has faith components to it. None of that is required. It's kind of a buffet of whatever you as a client would choose for your pregnancy and for your parenting and for your healing topics. Let's see. So basically you would, you'd come in, you'd have your test, you'd come into our Earn While You Learn program. If you already know that you're pregnant, you can come in when you're ready to deliver, 1 week from delivery, or that you just had a baby and you're like, I need some supplies. I just heard about you and I need to, I just need some help. I don't know what to do. I don't have any things for my family or my child that was just born. So part of our program is when you watch videos, whether they're at home or they're in person, you earn points. And then with those points, you can exchange them for diapers, car seats, cribs, playpens. We do have some gas cards and some gift cards for groceries and things like that for the clients that are earning points. If we don't have something that you need, we have some supporters and donors that are just waiting to say, how can we help? We want to give something specific. So we have that opportunity to be able to, if they can't necessarily afford something, we can go and purchase that for them based on the points that they have earned. And we find that some of the people that have been through our program are now wanting to volunteer as well. They're just like, I just can't get enough of just being part of Options family. And that's what we want, is we want people to be able to feel like we're family, that we're a relationship that has really just helped them have better mental health all the way around, whether it's through grief support, whether it's through their pregnancy and just needing to have somebody else to be there during that time until they deliver. And then they might not come back, or like I said, that they pick up and come right when their baby is just born. So this program, our Earn While You Learn, goes through the age of 3. And we're also looking to add a Parenting Plus program to that as well, because we have pregnancy and parenting, and then we also have life skills. And so someone's looking to find out how to do a budget or to manage credit cards, go through an interview. We've got those life skills things too. And then we also have some things about authentic fatherhood and practical fatherhood. So our dads, if they come with, they get double the points, and they can also earn points as well for staying in school, having a job, taking their children to their doctor's appointments, anything that's helping them be a positive parent, because that positive parent is living in our communities, and we just want to have an all-around healthy community and with well parents. And we can work with the foster system to help those families that are on the verge of getting their kids back, or maybe being removed, so that we can help them have some of those parenting skills and maybe be able to keep their children at home too. let's see.
I do see you have a question. You talked briefly about people that want to come back to volunteer. What kind of volunteer opportunities do you offer?
So we have some people that will just come in and they'll just label new brochures or things that we have that are takeaways. We have events that can be planned. We definitely need event planners. And I know as the chamber, as you know how it is to plan events, just having those extra bodies to help with some of those extra details. And then we have the client advocate, which is the person that actually meets with the clients that come in. And so like one of them that we have that is looking at staying on because their child is transitioning and they've pretty much watched most every video that we have. They also have a skill of another language, so they'll be able to come on as an interpreter. And so any skills that our clients have that would benefit other clients, we would definitely want to fit them in wherever we can. But we also look for board members, the client advocates, like I said, event planners, anyone that's got marketing and outreach, even some people who might just want to intern. So some of the college students that might be going through family, I'm drawing a blank now, but early childhood development and family studies, they might want to come in and do an internship to be able to just have some more tools in their tool belt as they go on to whatever else that they're going to be doing. In the future, we would love to be able to provide medical services, have an ultrasound, do some prenatal well checks, baby weights and things like that. Those are just growing ideas as we go forward. We're currently open 3 days a week, Mondays from 1 to 5, Tuesdays 11 to 6, Thursdays by appointment. Our grief groups usually go as needed. So there might be one person going through at a time, because when someone's ready to go through whatever it is that they're processing, we don't want them to have to wait 3 months to get on board with that. So we, if they want to wait because they don't want to do it one-on-one and they're waiting for a group of 2 or 3, we can wait too. So again, we really just try to customize the needs of our clients with whatever it is that works best for them.
You had mentioned you have some corporate sponsors. Is there any fundraising that you do?
So we had our first golf outing last year. We had our first banquet last year. We do some little, we do a baby bottle drive that we put into the churches where they send the bottles out, to their congregation, and then they fill up the bottles with cash, coin, or check, and then they return those. That's probably our biggest fundraiser, which of course is difficult when everything was closed down this last year or so as well. But we definitely want to, be creative in however we can, because we are a nonprofit. So we definitely are looking for people who, line up with our mission and vision and want to get behind supporting moms in pregnancy and grief support so that we can make an impact in our community.
Rhonda, you mentioned event planning, and so you just said the banquet. Is there any other events that you're host or hoping to host or have?
So we did a virtual walk for babies last year. We did a golf outing last year, and we're looking to do a golf outing again in June. So one of my main, so basically right now it's myself and a main client advocate, and then we've got 2 other ladies that can meet with clients. So we're also the ones that are putting together the fundraisers and kind of jack of many trades and masters of none. So, and so with our board as well, and we definitely anybody that has skills in maybe putting together a 5K. We'd love to do a 5K or a walk. Somebody had mentioned a triathlon at one time, and I thought, oh my gosh, I think let's start with a walk and a 5K, and then maybe we can grow it to something else. But and then we did the golf outing, which was great. But again, you know, having more people that can lead that up and run with it, and then our banquet in the fall. And then we did a silent auction, an online auction, I guess it was the end of 2020 in replacement of our banquet that we had to postpone due to the pandemic. So we just want to be creative and keep getting the word out there so that our moms out there and dads can be supported. So if anybody has any ideas, I'm certainly open to hearing them. And I thought maybe a 5K out at Woodwind would be perfect. Somebody already has the skeleton of that and how it all works, and we just have to put some pieces together versus starting from
Rhonda, I'll send you my email, but I think you're certainly the kind of group that I think a Play It Forward event would be a good thing to do. We'll have to put you on it won't be this summer, but maybe we'll look at something.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I didn't hear, Rhonda, when did you guys start Options for Women?
So they started the nonprofit in 2017, and we started out at the back of the Church of the Nazarene. They gave us a space to just be. I came on as the director in 2019, and we moved into the space in the Marion March of 2020. So right as we were hoping to be right here for the Stout students and everybody, they all went home. And so, we just went on, and we had clients through that really still needed to meet with people and needed to connect. And so we just continued, the best that we could through the situation that we were in to continue to meet with our moms and send them education. And that was the great part of being able to bring in break courses, because we could send them that information online and still stay connected with them. And so they could still feel supported and have that education. So like, this is one of our modules. And in one module, there's 5 lessons. And so smoking while pregnant, emotions of pregnancy, what's safe, what isn't, bonding with your unborn and your changing body. And so they come in, they watch the video, they fill out a question or a discussion sheet during that. And then we talk about that. And then they take that a homework sheet home and fill that out and come back. And we're hoping then that they're implementing some of those skills that they're learning as well in the week. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We ended up about perfectly on time. If anyone else had any questions for Rhonda, we definitely could let them ask here quick. And if not, we can jump into everyone that's on here, have a few trivia questions. The way this will work is it'll be on the honor system. We'll pull up the questions on the screen, and then we'll give you a minute or two to get through them all, and then I'll read the answers, and then we'll see who gets the best score. If we have a tie, we'll sign a number and draw a number out of a hat for a couple of, I think there are 2 $10 chamber gift certificates. So, right, I just got to figure out if I can share here. Let's see. I do not see a share option on mine.
You should be good now.
I've got breakout rooms. I'm a Microsoft Teams person, not a Zoomer usually. So share screen, found it, giant green button in the middle. All right. I want my screen. All right. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I believe there's 6 or 7 questions total. First one is, aerobic exercise increases my what? Muscle mass, body water content, flexibility, or heart rate? Keep them to yourself for now. Extending a joint beyond its normal anatomical position is called what? Hyperextension, hypertrophy, hypoglycemia, or broken? Question 3, ideally, how much of your body weight is muscle? Percentage-wise, 20, 40, 60, or 80% muscle? All right, next one. Approximately how many gallons of blood does your heart pump in a single day? 500 gallons, 1,000 gallons, 1,500 gallons, or 2,000 gallons? Next, how can you increase the amount of fat you burn while resting? Increase your muscle mass, buy and consume as seen on TV supplements that make fat melt away, eat more protein, or eat fewer carbs. And you could probably just call them A, B, or C, or just so you can come back to them. Regular physical activity and healthy diet can help manage or get rid of what type of diabetes? Type 1, 2, 3, or 4? The last question is, what percent of people are successful at losing weight through diet alone? 0, 10, 40, or 60% are successful? Is everybody ready to go back through them? I'm not seeing any no's. All right, so the first answer, aerobic exercise increases my heart rate. Second answer, extending a joint beyond its normal anatomical position is called what? That would be hyperextension. Ideally, how much of your body weight is muscle? 40% would be ideal for what percent of your body weight is muscle. There's a lot of water weight in there and a little bit of other weight. Approximately how many gallons of blood does your heart pump in a single day? 2,000 gallons of blood. And if you make it to Fire Fitness or one of the other gyms, it's probably a little bit higher, especially if you're using your My Zone and staying up there in the yellow and red zone for a while. How can you increase the amount of fat you burn while resting? Increasing your muscle mass will burn more calories while you are at rest. Regular physical activity and healthy diet can help manage or get rid of what type of diabetes? That'd be type 2 diabetes. And last question, what percent of people are successful at losing weight through diet alone? Maybe 10%, only 10%, just dieting alone are able to be successful at losing their weight. All right, see if I can get back to my main screen here. So I can see everybody. If everyone wants to comment on how many they got right, the most would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. 4, 5, we got a 5, a second 5. Chong says she only got 3, so she didn't win. Missing 1 or 2 here. All right. Oh, all right. That's fair enough. Ashley and Melissa didn't play. All right. So we had 2 5s. So that means Beth and Megan each get their chamber dollars. So we'll get in contact with you and figure out how to get you those. So thank you guys. all, and it seems like we lost a couple already, but thank you very much for coming on and discussing. I definitely learned a few things, and we'll be able to share that information with people, and hopefully everyone else here did, and we'll take this information back to our YP meeting, then hopefully we can share this recording as well. So anyone else have anything they want to add or questions for anyone else?
I just, on behalf of the chamber, I want to thank you all too for being such huge assets in our community, for presenting this evening, and a reminder that annual banquet nominations are due tomorrow. So if you know of a business, a neighbor, a nonprofit that you think have definitely excelled during 2021, please nominate them. We have printable forms and online forms to fill those out.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Thanks again.
Thanks you.
Thanks, everyone. Great. Bye-bye.
Bye.